Greetings and welcome back to the Casual Wargamer. Yesterday, Games Workshop put out an article on their community page with regards to the Legends of the Horus Heresy units. Things like the Kratos and other Heresy units that they have released in plastic recently and given us 40k rules for. With the release of 10th, these are all effectively going away. They're all going into Legends, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't fault that. But it's how they're doing it and the knock-on effects that this is going to have. So the point of this is they go into Legends because there's so many units, you can't balance everything, although I disagree. I think if you actually tried, you could do very, very well. As it currently stands, I think they're quite balanced in 40k. So why not just, anyway, I digress. These units go there and then they will not get an update. They will not get a change in points. They will not get corrections throughout the continuation of 10th edition. They will be as is. And what this generally means is Legends units end up being underpowered and often overcosted throughout the life of an edition. This is what we've seen with a lot of the ones through 9th. But the biggest kick in the teeth has been that Games Workshop have said that from here on, this means they are not legal for tournament play. This means you cannot go to an official Games Workshop tournament or something like the ITC events or anything like that and field any of these units. They're perfectly fine in match play and they're perfectly fine for you to play at home in friendly games. But this is the problem. The moment that you say something is not tournament legal, people turn around and go, well, I'm not playing it. I've already seen one of our local players say this. If someone is bringing Legends units, or they're allowed, I should rephrase that, in leagues or store tournaments, they're not playing. Despite the fact that they are, or will end up being, underpowered and overcosted. You will find people who will just turn and go, I'm not playing it. They're not legal in tournament play. Even though that's the high-end side of the game, you can still perfectly play these during normal games, but people will end up turning around and saying no. It's also upset people who have spent money on these. They wanted them for, if they play Horus Heresy, then they're not so bad. They've still got them for that. But if you've bought them because you wanted to use those units in a 40k game, I myself own a Kratos for my Space Marines. I will continue to use it in friendly games. So what's the problem? But it's a kick in the teeth to them who wanted to play them in 40k. Second kick in the teeth from Games Workshop. If you're a Custodes player or a Knights player, none of their stuff is going into Legends. You can still use all the Forge World Custodes units and the old style Knights, which are coming out in plastic, in 40k without a problem. The argument that you see on the community page is that Space Marines already have enough toys to play with. Seriously, Jay, what are you... This is ridiculous. I'm sorry to say it, but it's in for the money, asleep for the concerns and the desires of the player base. You've got the money from people that spent all their dosh, their hard-earned dosh, on buying some cool new toys for their army, and now you're going, no, you can't play them. And again, you can play them outside of tournament games, but the amount of people who will turn around and say no, just simply because they're in the Legends bracket, is going to be silly. I get it. When you have models that aren't being manufactured anymore, things like Space Marine chaplains on bikes, They don't do a model for that, even though you could convert one. That's in Legends, I get that. But where you are producing a plastic kit for that model, or even if it's still a resin kit from Forge World, let people play them. It doesn't matter. At what point did 40k stop being a fun and friendly game to being something that's dominated by the tournament scene? And this is the problem. This is why they've done it. They've taken your money and now they're just focusing on flogging you a new edition and new toys. It's classic G-Dub, and quite frankly, we're all bitten by it every time they do it. It's a big disappointment. Nothing we can do about it, though, which is the other issue. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? I find it frustrating because it's, again, I'm repeating myself, but you're gonna get people who are just not going to want to play against you if you want to play Legends, and it just makes no sense to me. Anyway, let me know your comments and thoughts down below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video. And take care. Good gaming.